Hello and welcome to Inside Sports. I'm Wes Decker. It's good to have you along this week. We've got a big show ahead, but before we get into it, I want to give props to a guy who's quickly becoming my favorite politician, Secretary of State John Kerry. I mentioned last week over the holidays he was fist bumping with Snoop Dogg, kind of becoming the hip hop ambassador here in the United States. And now in Paris this past Monday, meeting with Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov. And kind of a comical occurrence between those two, because I guess the last time they talked, Lavrov had mentioned that he enjoys Idaho potatoes. So Kerry brings him a little gift, a couple of large Idaho potatoes, to which Lavrov remarks, "They're incredible." I've never exactly heard anybody accept potatoes and look at them as being incredible, but it got me to thinking, you know, there are times in life where we might mention to somebody in passing that we like something, and lo and behold, later on, they wind up giving us that gift. And we're like, how did you know that? Well, you had said that a while back. For instance, you know, it wasn't that long ago that, you know, I mentioned to somebody that I really love basketball. So they got me this little water game, which actually just completely drives me nuts. I mean, it's one of those things where, you know, it seemed like a good idea at the time, but in the end, it's just very, very annoying. Also, I'm a collector of cards. So several years ago, I said, you know, there are cards on these snack sticks. I'd like to collect those. So people started getting me boxes of these, and see how far I've gotten. When you look at the expiration date here, we're talking April of 2009. Still haven't opened the box yet. Possibility of an autographed card in there, but I still haven't opened that box. And then there was the time when I said, yeah, I really like the movie Joe Dirt. Who doesn't love Joe Dirt? But, I mean, did I really need a sweatshirt, a Joe Dirt sweatshirt? Hasn't been worn, but maybe one time. And then I did remark to someone, I really love these kidney beans. So what do you think I get? A can of kidney beans. And not just a small can, a large. I don't even know what state kidney beans come from. I would caution Lavrov never to mention that he likes kidney beans. And just one more. Several years ago, I enjoyed the song "I Saw Him Standing There" by Tiffany. What do I get? The Tiffany cassette. These are all things that, you know, you might not really want, but you try to be polite at the time. You just throw something out in conversation, and this is the kind of stuff you end up with. Maybe this is some early spring cleaning on my part or something like that. Anyway, you know, I was going to, here in the opening, I was going to have somebody throw me a Colts football, but every time we practice it, the pass was intercepted. Yeah, you didn't think I was going to mention that, did you? It was a rough Saturday. By the way, LeGarrette Blount just scored again for the Patriots. Good luck to them this week. On the show, as I mentioned, we've got a big one. We've got girls basketball, a showdown for Antietam Conference supremacy already here in the early season. Plus, I've got 3 Hub Cup champions who will sit down to talk about their victories. But first, we'll get you there with pictures and descriptions from the semifinal round at the Hub Cup and the indoor track and field meets, both the Antietam and the Piedmont this past week. We'll talk about those when we come back on Inside Sports.
Behind every great child, there is a great foundation. Premier Martial Arts will empower your child and give them a premier foundation to success. Our instructors have the passion to teach classes designed to build premier skills. Your child will develop greater self-control, confidence, and concentration. Premier Martial Arts will take your child up the path of greatness. Call Premier Martial Arts today.
Hamilton Nissan is the used car superstore. You don't have to go to the Ford dealership to buy a Ford or the Honda dealership to buy a Honda. Save thousands and buy pre-owned at Hamilton Nissan. A huge selection of the area's most popular models, from Acura to Volkswagen. You'll find it at Hamilton Nissan with maximum selection, maximum savings, and maximum value with our Dealership for Life program. The Hamilton Nissan Used Car Superstore on the Dual Highway in Hagerstown or online at hamiltonnissan.com.
Welcome back to Inside Sports. At the NVAL Antietam Conference Indoor Track and Field Championships that Williamsport swept a year ago, runner-up finishes by 2 county teams this year resulted in optimism for bigger and better things going forward. While winning has become a way of life for the Boonesboro girls, not winning last Friday wasn't completely unexpected. With the county championships ahead this Friday, Warriors coach Becky Walter elected to pull back on the reins at the conference meet. Even so, if you're wearing the Boonesboro B and you're competing, there's just one speed. In fact, in the day's first event, Courtney Cunningham, Malia Simpson, Emma Lang, and then Megan Grams, who kicked Boonesboro to the lead and ultimately to the victory, teamed to outrace everybody in the 4x800 meter relay by nearly 8 seconds. Inside the track at HCC, Boonesboro owned the high jump after Sarah Anderson had secured third. The Warriors' LaShanta Tonsel put the heat on top seed Maggie Sullivan by gleefully clearing 5 feet, very much to her liking, in addition to eliciting applause from Sullivan and bringing congratulations from Coach Walter on her feat. But on a day on which Sullivan played the role of Boonesboro headliner, Maggie responded to edge her teammate to capture the event by virtue of fewer misses. Sullivan then narrowly missed adding the 500 title to her spoils, posting a school record time of 1 minute 22.14 seconds, a PR for her by over 3 seconds, and 0.52 seconds faster than teammate Grams for second in that event, before nailing down Boonesboro's final first-place finish of the day, a victory by 45 hundredths of a second in her signature event, the 55-meter hurdles. Altogether, Sullivan contributed 19 points to the Warrior team total of 88, which turned out to be 37 fewer than victorious Liberty. The Smithsburg boys settled for second too, the position in which they finished notwithstanding. Coach Ray Shriver was pleased with his team's overall performance and felt it took a needed step forward with the money meets still ahead. Catoctin, who will compete at Class 2A at Regions and States, outdistanced the 1A Leopards 93-65, winning 5 events to Smithsburg's 2. The Leopards' Caleb Cardone played a part in both Leopard victories, keying a nearly 1 second win in the 4x2 relay and earlier running away with the title in the 300 by over a second. But it was the race he didn't win that left him feeling less than satisfied. Boonesboro's Devin Fairhall got the best of Cardone by 6 1/1000ths of a second in the 55-meter dash, leaving Cardone to vow the result will be different this Friday. Fairhall, however, has to be considered the favorite going in, having now defeated the defending county champ Cardone and South Hagerstown's Isaiah Smith head-to-head this winter. Speaking of Smith, even nursing a hamstring injury, he still captured the 55-meter dash at Saturday's MVAL Piedmont Conference Championships, the lone triumph at the meet for the county. North Hagerstown's Emily Ward scored a pair of second-place finishes, earning silver in both the 800 and the 1600 in her first attempts at both this season. As I mentioned, the stakes increase this Friday when all 7 county public schools converge on HCC for the 23rd annual county championships. Boonesboro's boys and girls are the defending county champs. Now, at the 27th annual Hub Cup Wrestling Tournament this past weekend, 5 teams from the county were among the record 23 hailing from 5 states who took to the mats at the North Hagerstown High School Gymnasium in search of a championship at the prestigious 2-day event. Williamsport held the lead after Friday and started Saturday with 4 wrestlers still entertaining individual title aspirations. Justin Beckley was first up at 1:13 and grabbed an early 2-0 lead against DeMatha Catholic's Logan Wilson. The Wildcats sophomore wouldn't score again, but he didn't have to, making those 2 points stand up. Beckley's 2-1 victory moved him into the championship finals, where Austin Keetle hoped to join him. Keetle drew a tough task in 2013 state place winner Jake Putin of South Carroll. The Williamsport junior trailed 4-1 when the eventual 182-pound weight class winner ended Keetle's quest for gold at 1:12 of the second period. Wildcat senior Lasher Urciolo didn't fare much better, eliminated by the eventual 220-pound runner-up Richard Meehan of DeMatha Catholic in the first period. And at 285, Williamsport's Brandon Eisminger lasted just 33 seconds with eventual champion and 2013 220-pound bronze medalist Connor Tilton of Quince Orchard. So while the Wildcats capitalized on just one of their 4 opportunities to put wrestlers in the finals, North Hagerstown, who started the day 10th in the team standings, had 5 shots. Isaiah Brooks was the first Hub to step on the mat. Brooks fought all the way but came out on the short end of a heartbreaking 5-4 decision to eventual 126-pound titleist, fellow sophomore Tyler McCosey of Urbana. In a 132-pound semi, North's Hunter Faith was next up, opposed by Catoctin's Garrett Buckley. In the Battle of Juniors, Faith got the upper hand early and kept it throughout to decision his way to the championship finals, where North now had 1 in and 3 more with the opportunity to get there. And the one it would be least surprising to see in the next round was next at 145. The undefeated Brendan Colbert, already with a Hub Cup championship to his name, was determined to add another. The senior jumped out to an 8-2 first period advantage over Buckhannon Upsher's Matt Fair and then finished him off by pinning his shoulders to the mat early in the second. Colbert was now poised for a rematch with Catoctin's Charlie Perella, who denied him a Hub Cup crown a year ago. Meantime, the Hubs hope to keep their pipeline to the finals pumping, with Coleman McCoes squaring off against Musselman's Danny Arndt at 160. Unfortunately for McCoes and his team, Arndt proved too strong for the junior. But North had one more chance, and a solid one at 182, in undefeated senior J.D. McCoy. McCoy appeared to be on his way to the finals until Musselman's David Stoss scored a takedown with just 19 seconds remaining to end McCoy's title plans and his unbeaten season. While North Hagerstown getting 2 wrestlers to the championship round could have been called a mild disappointment, the mere opportunity for Boonesboro to get 2 there could be considered a minor fairy tale. And so it began once upon a time with the Warriors' Dalton Hawkins facing off against fellow junior Aaron Lehman of Waynesboro. Hawkins made Mother Goose proud, scoring an 8-5 decision that secured his chance to wrestle for the 132-pound title in an all-Washington County showdown against North's Faith. Then at 195, Dakota Pfeiffer huffed and he puffed and he overpowered Mountain Ridge's Austin Clark to live happily ever after to wrestle for a Hub Cup championship. The junior ultimately, though, settled for runner-up status, as did Faith of North. And McCoy bounced back to win his 3rd-place bout for the Hubs, who also got 4th-place finishes from Brooks and McCoes, along with 2 5ths and a 6th. Williamsport ended up with a 4th from Keedle, a pair of 5ths, and 5 6ths. And when wrestling concluded Saturday night, Delaware's Cape Henlopen was 4 points better than North Hagerstown, 20 ahead of 2-time defending champ Urbana, and 35 to the good over 4th-place Williamsport. North was the highest-ranking Maryland school, but that's of little solace to the hosts of the tourney, whose championship has now eluded them for 14 years. Although there was no county team champion, there were individual County Hub Cup champs, 3 of them to be exact, and I welcome them to the show to talk about their victories when you come back right after this. At Murray's Tire and Auto, we were here for you then, and we're here for you now. While the way we look might have changed over the years, the quality of the work you've come to count on remains the same. From preventive maintenance services to emissions repairs to major and minor mechanical work. Plus, Murray's carries Cooper and other major brands of tires and uses state-of-the-art equipment to accommodate all rim and tire sizes. And now shopping for tires has never been easier. At Murray's, your family's safety behind the wheel is important to us as our own. Enjoy old-fashioned service with all the modern conveniences at Murray's Tire and Auto. Still here for you in Williamsport.
Honey, I just got the mail. We got 6 new bills today.
We don't have enough money.
Mommy, will we still get to live in our house?
It may be time to consider bankruptcy. Call Bodie Law. Do it for yourself. Do it for your family.
Injured on the job? Been denied compensation? Need money for medical bills and lost wages? Know your rights. Insurance companies have lawyers, and so should you. Protect yourself. Call Bodie Law, your Hagerstown legal team, for help at 888-823-1255. It's what we do for you that counts.
Welcome back to Inside Sports. I'm joined now by 3 Hub Cup winners from this past weekend. Brendan Colbert of North Hagerstown, Justin Beckley of Williamsport, and Dalton Hawkins of Boonesboro. Thanks for being here, guys, and congratulations on your victories. Brendan, let me start with you first, because you're the senior, the most experienced guy. You go out there at 145 and win the title at Hub Cup. Now, last year you didn't win the title. You beat the guy who beat you last year in the semifinals. How big was it for you? Because a lot of people made something out of this, you and Charlie Perella, maybe a little bit of a rivalry there. Was it important that you beat him for the title, or just important that you won the title in general?
To me, I just wanted to win the title no matter who I wrestled. I just thought if I went out and wrestled how I knew how, I'd be fine no matter who I was wrestling. So, I mean, I wanted the revenge, and I got it, so hopefully I'll probably wrestle him again in 2 weeks in a dual meet, and it'll probably be another good match.
You're 19-0 now this season at this particular point. Do you feel, this being your senior season, is this the most complete wrestler you've been to this point in time in a season?
Yeah, this season feels like the best I've had so far out of 4 years. Basically stepping up to any challenge. If the coaches want me to bump up, I bump up, and never backing down or anything. This is it.
At 152, you're ranked third in the state, but you win the title at the Hub Cup at 145. Will you go back and forth from here on out, or will you settle at one weight over the other?
I'll probably stay at 52 for the rest of the season, and we're kind of debating if I should drop to 47 for states or not. We're going to see what I weigh going into February.
And Justin, let me come to you. Congratulations on your win. You know, I saw you at the Damascus Holiday Tournament, and I look at some of the wrestlers, and, you know, most of them have their headphones on. They're preparing for the match, however they do. You always seem to have a game face on, as if you're always ready to wrestle no matter when it might happen. And I saw you win your semifinal match at the Hub Cup, and you were very excited about that. Tell me about the match that you won to bring home the 113-pound weight class title, because you go to overtime, come from behind in that match. Take me through that a little bit.
I just know going into the match that he was a good kid, and just came ready to wrestle, and I guess I just didn't give up till the 6 minutes was over, so came back and got it.
Yeah, it wasn't an easy task. I mean, you get a defending state place winner in that particular bout, a guy who was 26-0, ranked fourth in the state. How do you size yourself up after winning that particular match? You went and ranked 16th in the state at 113. You know, what's your confidence level right now?
I'm feeling pretty confident, but I know that through the rankings, most kids are pretty close in rankings. It's just there's so many good kids, I guess, in Maryland that it doesn't really matter what the rank is. You just wrestle the match. Was
it surprising to you that as a sophomore and being on a team, which is a very good team in Williamsport, ranked 17th in the state, that you were the only one of the Wildcats who emerged with a title at Hub Cup?
Yeah, kind of did surprise me, but I guess some other people just didn't get lucky and pull through in the semifinals, so.
Yeah, some tough draws there, and obviously, I mean, a 23-team tournament, very difficult, not just the state of Maryland, but 4 other states represented too. What will it take for this team to accomplish the goals that it's set out to accomplish this season? Can you kind of assess the team right now and what needs to happen?
I guess they just need to concentrate on working hard in the room and then keep working hard, and I guess it'll all come around.
And Dalton, let me go to you, because this Boonesboro team is kind of an upstart team in a way, a very young team at this point in time. Obviously, big for you to get the Hub Cup victory, and you do that against a county wrestler in Hunter Faith from North Hagerstown, who had been at James Buchanan last year. Very solid match for you to win that. But let me go to this Boonesboro team first, because again, it's a very young team. You yourself being just a junior. What do you see with this Boonesboro team going forward? I know there are some holes in some certain weight classes right now, but what do you think you can accomplish from a team standpoint?
Our lineup is, we got 9 kids in the lineup, so we could use more spots filled, but we all work hard and we got good coaches. So.
Pretty impressive too for Boonesboro to get 2 wrestlers into Hub Cup finals matches, you and Dakota Pfeiffer. And in your particular match, you were pretty dominant in that one. Can you talk about the match and what your mindset was going into that one?
I mean, just go out there, keep the pressure, work hard, just like we do in practice. Just keep coming at him, keep coming at him. Hunter was a good wrestler, and it was just a good match. So.
You're now 12-2 on the season, unranked in the state. So do you look at this perhaps as being a way to elevate yourself within the state, or doesn't that even matter to you?
It was a good win, and I think it may have gave me some recognition in the state, but I just got to keep winning, keep working.
What's it like this year with your dad now as the head coach? Mike McGill obviously is still there, but with your, I mean, is there a certain comfort level with that? Does that work to your advantage in a way, or you know, how do you fare with that?
It's awkward, but it works.
So there isn't much of a comfort level there.
No, not really. Yeah.
Is it tough because he's a guy who would be harder on you perhaps than the other wrestlers on the team?
No, I mean, he coached so the team wouldn't fold, so I appreciate it.
Yeah,
appreciate
so,
what he's
so
done.
stepping in to
Yeah.
make it happen. Well, yeah, interesting dynamic there, but certainly you're succeeding, I guess, in spite of that. And Brendan, last year, let me come back to you. You know, your season didn't end the way you wanted it to, and you talked about it. I mean, it's all or nothing this particular season. Does it seem like time has really just flown by for you? Because it seems like it wasn't all that long ago to me that, you know, you were coming in as that very heralded freshman.
Yeah, time has definitely flew by. Now that I'm into my senior year, I'm looking back and kind of kicking myself in the butt about things I could have did to make myself better or maybe achieve the goals that I wanted to get. So basically now it's either go get it or go home.
What are some of the things you think maybe you could have done differently?
Work harder, wrestle the whole 6 minutes and not wait till the last minute to wrestle if I'm down by a point or two. And basically just going out and setting my pace in every match.
Are you able to impart some of that knowledge to some of the guys on the team now as a leader there and kind of, you know, look out for them and say, hey, here's what I realize now as a senior, here's perhaps what you need to do?
Yeah, definitely. Some guys will ask me, like, how do you do this, how do you do that, and I'll teach them anything they ask me or give them advice if they need it. I try to pick them up even if I know they have a big match coming up or even if it's not a tough kid, no matter what, just tell them to wrestle like it's a state championship match.
Well, and we didn't talk about this, but that North Hagerstown team ranked 6th in the state, just missed at the Hub Cup, and obviously, you know, much bigger and better things down the road for North Hagerstown this season, for Williamsport too, and for Boonesboro, as I said, real up-and-coming team. Guys, thanks so much for being here. I know there are a lot of big matches to come here before this season is over. Of course, you'll all be getting together at counties in just about 5 weeks or so, and some big matches coming up in the interim too. Again, congratulations on your success so far, and we'll be keeping an eye on you down the road.
Thank you.
I'll be back right after this. We've got basketball to talk about as we conclude this week's edition of the show in just a moment. Boxes are good for a number of things, but not as your flooring store.
Excuse me, where can I find your ceramic tile expert?
Ceramic tile expert? You're looking at him.
But aren't you the...
Ceramic tile expert.
At Carpet Gallery, flooring isn't just one of the things we do, it's the only thing we do. And when they say free, we say, really? Here, you'll meet with flooring and ceramic tile experts with over 70 years of experience, and that's for real, and that's real value. Trust Carpet Gallery for all your flooring needs and think outside the box. Antietam Cable is pleased to announce another exciting innovation, Antietam To Go. Antietam To Go lets you watch TV shows on your computer or portable device, laptop, tablet, smartphone. Watch what you want, when you want, where you want from the most popular networks on television. Power Antietam To Go with Antietam high-speed internet for the perfect entertainment combo. Just visit myactv.net/Antietam To Go to get started. It's TV your way with Antietam To Go, free with your TV subscription. Thank you for being an Antietam Cable customer. Welcome back to the show. In basketball, when the schedule for the year was released, who would have had the foresight to think that last Friday night would provide the first big county showdown of the season on the girls' hardwood? Nostradamus be darned, because that's exactly what we had when 5-0 South Hagerstown, the consensus top team in the county, went calling on the upstart Williamsport Wildcats, a young, confident bunch riding a 6-game winning streak. Throw in the fact that South entered 2-0 in the Antietam Conference, and Williamsport was the current front-runner at 4-0, and something had to give by the end of the night, but it certainly wouldn't be the will of either side. To a player, the game was contested like it was a March playoff contest. Maximum effort equated to non-stop physical play that left bodies strewn on the floor and no loose basketball unpursued. Scoring was at a premium in the first quarter that saw the Rebels scratch out a slim 9-7 lead when Tay Stewart's three-pointer beat the buzzer. South then extended its advantage to 4 on Chelsea Scott's basket in the lane a minute 18 into the second. The Wildcats answered right back when Kate Wade found Alexis Klein for the short baseline jumper. And next time down, Williamsport tied it at 11 on Aaron McVicker's 17-footer before Wade's layup vaulted the Cats ahead for the first time in the second period, with 5:05 remaining until halftime. But Williamsport's 6-0 run abruptly came to an end with Catrice Dixon's steal and lay-in, retying the game at 13 until Carly Robinson's hoop 49 seconds later put the Wildcats back in front by 2 before Melanie Yeoman's driving basket forged the third tie of the quarter. A Dixon bucket and a free throw countered a Williamsport free throw giving the Rebels a short-lived edge in a hard-fought game that appropriately went to the break tied 18-18. The third quarter opened with a 5-point run by the Rebels' Stewart, who returned from a second-period knee injury to stake South to a 23-18 advantage. But Williamsport wouldn't go away. Aaron Palmer drove baseline to pull the Cats within 3 before Carly Robinson's putback cut their deficit to just 1 with under 3 minutes gone in the third quarter. However, Williamsport wouldn't score again in the frame, while South finished it on a 10-0 run to take the game's largest lead to the fourth at 33-22. And the new quarter started with more of the same, with Stewart making her presence felt at both ends of the floor, underneath and from long distance. By the time Williamsport finally got on the board again, there were just 4 minutes and 45 seconds remaining, and South was on top by 20. The Wildcats did outscore the Rebels 6-2 to close the game, but 35 turnovers combined with an 8-minute, 18-second scoreless span spelled doom and an end to Williamsport's 6-game win streak. While South Hagerstown was held to its lowest point total of the season, the Rebels were able to call on their superior experience and athleticism to keep their undefeated record intact and take over first place in the Antietam. Coming off Friday's test, the defending conference champs play 3 times this week, including a trip to once-beaten Boonesboro on Saturday. Williamsport will try to get back on track with 2 conference games on the road, where the Wildcats have gone 2-0 versus Antietam opponents so far. In boys hoops, Smithsburg continues its role in conference play. The Leopards improved to 5-0 after Tuesday night's win at Clear Spring. Smithsburg is now 6-4 overall, and true to head coach Mike Williams' forecast, the Leopards have thrived thanks to lots of interchangeable parts. In their 10 games, 5 different players have taken turns leading the Leopards in scoring, and 3, Matt Sprecher, Josh Miller, and James Schiffler, are contributing between 11 and 13 per game apiece. By virtue of contributions like those, entering Tuesday, Smithsburg was averaging just over 68 points per game per win this season. Only Williamsport can boast a more productive group of core players so far. The Wildcat quartet of Sterling Christie, who's also Williamsport's leading rebounder, forward Cameron Cross, point guard Riley Arnone, also the team leader in assists and steals, and sophomore guard Michael Riley have accounted for nearly 52 points per game so far. Williamsport had won 5 in a row prior to Saturday's loss to St. Maria Goretti. The Gales had split their last 6 in advance of Saturday's win, but still started the week 15-5. They'll end this week with a much-anticipated showdown against 10-2 St. James, a game that showcases Goretti's Martin Gebbin and the Saints' Obia Nichionia, along with St. James's Terrence Mayimba, 3 Division I recruits. That's Friday night at St. Maria Goretti and next week on Antietam Cable Channel 30. Other marquee events on the schedule this week include the first installment of North-South basketball. That's Friday at North Hagerstown with a girls-boys doubleheader tipping off at 5:30. Wrestling gives us the Rebel Duels Friday and Saturday at South Hagerstown, and the aforementioned Indoor Track and Field County Championships Friday afternoon at HCC. Plan to get out and see our student athletes in action this weekend, and plan to be here again in 7 days for more Inside Sports. Thanks for watching today. I'll see you then on the Inside.
Hey, your sisters and your brothers, your haters and your lovers, you gotta get up in the streets.